Alright, so Cheese is going to sign off. See you guys later.
So that was the Cheese, the co-commentator for tonight. Definitely putting in work over here on the table.
Yeah, you guys have been up here for a while, actually.
Man, I wanted to play Melee so bad. Yo, that Sheik Ditto, it's really great.
That good?
So, okay, we'll get to that. That's later on in the interview. But so you came here from Fort Wayne, 5-hour drive. Thank goodness 69's done. Right?
Yeah. It actually was a clean drive. No weather.
I mean, Kentucky is really the one that got hit, and yeah, it's not clipped. Yeah, but you came down here. Were you expecting to place this well? Were you expecting to place better? And don't give me this. Always go for first, because everyone says that.
Without Kentucky.
Without Kentucky,
I expected second.
Okay.
Second, third.
I was ranking you around there. I thought that maybe if Viper Boy didn't get knocked out by Lemon and Photonic, he would have given you a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a toss-up for me. But alas, you know, after he got knocked out, I'm like, well, I kind of favor you over Lemon, favor you over Photonic.
Him and Lemon both, Viper Boy and Lemon, their playstyles counter mine pretty hard. I have to like completely think outside the box to beat them.
It's such a different playstyle too. It's old school.
They're very sporadic because like old school worked like that.
It was be unpredictable.
Yeah,
pretty much. But you definitely clutched it out against Lemon.
I did.
We were getting concerned. We're like, is the Marth going to come out?
Yeah.
And, you know, playing Marth against him, I'm glad he clutched it out. Playing Marth against him wouldn't have been the worst idea. Lemon...
Well, he would have went Falco, and I haven't developed my Marth enough to deal with Falco's lasers.
Oh, okay. That's
so,
a big deal,
like,
too.
my Sheik versus Falco, the lasers are fine.
Crouch
I can get around him.
You already explained me that.
Yeah.
The crouch under that, wait till he jumps up.
My Marth is what has trouble, so I
wouldn't
have done that. That would have just been bad news for me. So.
That's fair. So, well, there we go. There's a reason why you were up there and I wasn't. And so, other than the Photonic sets, the Lemon set, what set gave you the most like trouble and worry that you ended up winning?
Definitely Yamhill. No, I mean honestly,
no.
I don't play Sheik very much. I mean Peach. At all. Barely at all. I mean, you could see, if you were watching, you could see it. But the truth is that Sheik doesn't have a bad matchup until you consider chain throwing.
Yeah.
But even if I get rid of Nana to stop the wobbling, it doesn't matter. I still get chain thrown. So it's the same thing. I might as well just get wobbled anyways. So I just was like, look, either I beat him with fundamentals and like lack of control, which I feel I'm better than Yamham. So I chose to go Peach and hopefully like fundamentally.
And of course, the matchup is heavily in your favor.
No, it is absolutely. But
that's part of it. That's part of the decision. Well, I got knocked out by Yamham.
Yeah,
dude definitely had a breakout performance too. Like him and Photonic, no one expected them to do this well. And it's not because they're bad players. It's just because they haven't gotten placings like this.
They always have a lot of trouble getting seeded, and they fight really good players early, and it takes a toll most of all. Absolutely. And they're tired by the time they get to anyone that worthwhile. It sucks.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better. So Yamham gave you a bit of the jitters. You flushed that set out. What about your winner set with Photonic? I didn't see it. How was it?
It was extremely stressful, though it doesn't look that way. Sheik mains, when they chain throw and they're like last stock all games, it's incredibly stressful. But like on the outside,
I know.
Yeah,
I'm one of them.
Yeah, and on the outside, you're like, this is the most boring thing on the planet. But really, it's super intense.
Believe it or not, the Sheik Ditto, at least the losers' final Sheik Ditto, was probably the most intense set we had. And your set with Yamham was the one where people were making jokes about, the stream being boring.
Yeah.
But
no, because I have no style and I have no control with Peach whatsoever. So
no style and no grace.
This Kong has a fun grace.
But he is great. But he is Gracen. He does have that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean that Sheik Ditto was so good, and there were points in it where that game 5, the last stock you guys had. There were points in that where I'm like, oh no.
Well, at the very end,
the Randall. That's the thing that got me. Photonic kept canceling on Randall to get back to the stage, and it would screw your edge guard
every
up.
time. Yeah.
And the last time he did it, I'm pretty sure it was last stock, and he netted a grab off of something, and I'm just like, this is it. He takes it, and then he, flubs the punish, and later on you get a grab, and his DI was awful.
I waited until the very last game to start mashing out of the chain throws.
Oh, you got him used to it.
Yeah. So that because I'll like hit it a little bit. but like I started mashing at the very end, and he dropped like 3 or 4 grabs because of it. So.
Well, that was a good mental game you played, and I noticed in the last game you started applying a lot of things you learned about him. Right off the bat, you made a read with the spot dodge, because he could have easily just down smashed you, which he did later. He adapted, but you were automatically like, just go, go, go.
The amount of time that you have to absorb what your opponent's flaws are during a Sheik Ditto are very minimal. They're extremely minimal.
Because a lot of it's punish game.
Exactly.
And you're trying to find out the little things in their neutral game, and the neutral doesn't last long.
Yep. And if the Sheik knows the matchup well, you're both probably going to go to last stock unless someone is getting grabs in neutral. But besides that,
it's hard. And most of the neutral is just based on a lot of fluff, you know?
Yeah,
charge needles, dash back. Charge needles, dash
and that
forward,
depends.
dash
It depends where they're going to stand. He was standing on that platform. I'll charge some needles until he wants to start getting a little aggressive, and then I meet him halfway. So
yeah, you definitely. I saw a lot of adaptation from you on the 5th game, because it seems like when you did get a combo out, you knew when he was going to DI, you knew the kind of options he would choose to get up, and that was really good to see. And
that's the only way you can win like a game 5 like that. You have to like hold it back and then use it later. Like that's all you got.
Pretty much.
It's tough.
Yeah, but thought it was interesting. Did you try to take him back to Fountain?
Yeah, because I thought it was modified. And I just like the platforms to get away from.
But that was the
chain
most
throws.
recent stage.
Last one on Pokemon, I thought.
No, you counterpicked Pokemon after Battlefield. He counterpicked Fountain of Dreams. It was his counterpick. And you beat him, and then he counterpicked you to Yoshi's.
Okay.
So that's why I was confused, but yeah.
Yeah, so we were even out of order anyways, but it wasn't modified, so
It's
well.
fine.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I was hesitant to go to Yoshi's because he had little momentum coming from that. But I wanted a smaller stage because I'd found out where his weaknesses were, and I wanted to apply them, but I wanted to apply them without chain throws because Fountain of Dreams can prevent chain throws because of them moving up and down.
That's what I said. I was like, Photonic probably counterpicked this because Gracen was doing a lot of chain grabbing last time.
Right. Yeah, Fountain of Dreams is usually the last place I'll take a Sheik after I've understood them. So
it's usually the first place I take Sheiks.
Yeah. No, you can learn. You can learn a lot because there's less chain throwing going on.
Yeah.
But I want to try to adapt more before my opponent does. Hopefully, that's.
I thought you going back to Yoshi's was a little sketchy, mostly because I know that's one of Nathan's.
I know that he likes it.
He likes it a lot.
I know.
It's like it's kind of risky to go on a creature.
For me, it was only because it was smaller. I had a game plan, and I wanted to implement it on a smaller stage, and that was the only one I had.
There we go.
So
I saw you hovering over FD, and I'm like, well, this would work for chain throwing, but I'm seeing less of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you definitely chose right because he ended up winning.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky at the very end. We had like a little scramble on the left side of Yoshi's at the very end.
I remember.
And I don't know what I did, but I won the exchange.
You won a grab.
And he was like, no, like when he was at the top platform, and then I hit him. I was like, right, yeah.
That's good. His DI
Panic covered his body. It was complete panic.
His DI on that was awful.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
So what happens on like last stock, you're both
going
of us,
everywhere.
I'm sure, are tired. We're
Yeah.
both exhausted.
And the nerves are getting to you by that point. It's ridiculous. But we identified this tournament as a breakout performance for Photonic.
Yeah, no.
No one expected this.
I'm glad.
I am too. I mean, he's finally showing his true potential, because for the longest time I'm like, yeah, Nathan's good, but if you find out what he's doing, he sucks.
Yeah.
Once you adapted to him, it's not good.
Yep. He's very methodical. He's very good at like seeing what you do and then just putting you down for it. He's so good.
He finds the tactics most players use. He develops a flow chart to counteract it, and he just executes it almost perfectly.
Like
every time.
no nonsense. It's just he
No.
sticks to the plan no matter what.
He doesn't get deterred, and that can be a good and bad thing. But
It's mentally strong. I can't. Once
Yeah.
someone like stuffs me the first time, I'm like, I gotta change.
yeah, you're
He
just
doesn't,
like, oh, that was a
and
hard,
it works for him.
hard commitment. I mean, yeah, it's just so weird because I'm so used to him doing really well in the beginning, and then later on brackets, someone will fight him and be like, oh, he's just doing Sheik things and beat him. But I mean, this time you could tell there's some things going on. The gears were turning in his head.
Gears are turning for sure, and that's why I've always liked Photonic to play.
It's mental, man.
Yeah, he's
mental.
good. He just like
so good.
Mhm.
I'm very impressed by his performance. We're gonna have him on interview next. Anything you'd like to add, Gracen? Mr. Second Place at Smashville 4.0.
Todd always runs good tournaments. He houses us for free. Without him, I truly believe that Evansville would be like in shambles. He provides the venue, he provides everything.
It's true.
And I appreciate it. That's why I drive down here, because I like Todd a lot. I'm close to Todd. And if all of us meet down here, we'll just meet in separate areas all the time, right? And just play in different places. And this is one of them, so I come down and hang out. So
Fort Wayne always shows up strong to the big Evansville tournaments, which I always found weird, but I guess you guys have a lot of respect for the way the man does it.
We just travel, man. There's no reason not to. You know, 5 hours sucks. 5 hours sucks. But if you can get some companionship on the way down, talking and hanging out and laughing, it's barely 5 hours at all. So I mean, and that's
true.
That's what Smash has been for me for 8 years now. When we drive, it's got to be about hanging out.
Some of the road trips are the most memorable parts.
You have to. That's it. That's all you got, because we don't teleport yet. It's not that time.
God, Todd was talking about it earlier. Yeah, whatever. Get to the tournament with my I'm scrambled. But
sorry. Just one last thing is
that's all good.
The dedication through Indiana as a whole for traveling has increased a lot recently, and I'm beyond ecstatic about it. It's incredible, because I know that when I was coming to Salty Sundays when they were first starting up, I was like, you guys gotta go. You guys gotta like go places.
I remember talking to us. Yeah. We were all like, oh, we have weekends here.
Yeah,
like,
get better. You have to travel. And then like, I don't know, just probably this past year, they've been traveling everywhere.
We've not only been traveling, we've been holding bigger and better tournaments here.
And everyone's getting better by insane rates.
Yeah, we've become one of the better states in the Midwest after not having a scene.
Yeah.
In 2 years. 2 years we've surpassed, I think we've surpassed Ohio.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think there's like some bosses in Ohio, but the rest of the talent in Ohio, I think that we're better.
We're
overall.
definitely deeper. Mm-hmm. We're deeper than almost every state, I think, in the Midwestern region. I think
like deeper as in like people you're saying?
Like
Michigan and Chicago crush us in numbers.
In numbers maybe, but I'm saying like if we took the top 40 from each state, I think we'd fare really well. Because we all came up at around the same time, the newer guys.
Yeah.
We all came up at around early 2014. First date was so big.
Yeah.
And so many people learned from that a lot of us are around the same skill level. And so that's what I mean by deeper. You'll hear it a lot if you're talking about like sometimes cross-country teams, people talk about it a lot. Like, if the JV teams just wrecking everything.
I think as Indiana though, we're closer. Like we're closer knit. We're closer friends. And when you go to Chicago and Michigan, like the top players in each are just friends. The rest of the community there, they're very cliquey.
It's the top player like clique. They don't hang out with anyone else. But
and that's why I've stayed in Indiana for so long when it comes to like the past year. I've been like staying in Indiana to travel because like I like hanging out, even though like Chicago has good tournaments.
Because we're super tight with each other. Like I don't know why other scenes developed. It's probably because they had a continuous scene for so long.
Sure.
And it developed kind of I don't want to say caste system, but that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
But in Kentucky, you don't get a lot of that. I don't see it.
Well, Kentucky comes here so much. They're basically Indiana.
Yeah, they're
as far as
homies,
I'm
dude.
concerned.
They're one of us. But I mean, you don't get that in Kentucky. I don't know if you get that in Ohio. Probably do. Actually, I know you do. I've seen it. But yeah, it's just the benefits of having a newer scene.
Yeah.
People are a lot closer to each other.
Absolutely. And this is the actual last thing.
Gotcha.
Without Kentucky, second place feels like fifth, for sure. They're always good competitors. They come in swinging.
Name a few. It's Reeve. Was Giano going to come?
I think Giano's taking an indefinite break at this time.
Man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's a lot of Falcon players do that. They like come in and out. Like.
Well, yeah, I know Giano himself did that a lot. A lot of people consider him old school.
He just has like other things that he'd like to do on a Saturday besides drive and stay up till 3 a.m. coming back home.
I get that. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I definitely wish him luck in whatever he's doing. But you think Amito would have given you a bit? Was he confirmed for this tournament?
Amito was coming, I believe.
Yeah.
But I think just Kentucky couldn't come.
How do you think he'd place?
Pretty good.
Behind Voorhees.
I think. Well, he's good at the matchup, and I think that he's very creative as a Puff, so that helps him a lot. And I don't think Indiana knows Puff quite well enough yet. We haven't had enough exposure to
we have
a lot of Puffs.
Well, we have like 4 mid-level Puffs.
Yeah.
But we don't have a Puff who's reached the level of a Amita quite yet.
Right.
He's still the king of our two, state camaraderies.
Yeah, he's tough to deal with.
And then Cobb also was confirmed, couldn't come.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and that's why I say like Kentucky, because
They're good.
second does feel like fifth.
Luigi Gauchard, there's another.
They're also good.
Should have come, but snow happened. It's a shame too.
I mean, next time.
Yeah, you gotta hope for that, man. I don't know. It must feel. I don't know. I feel like when I got here, I was like, did I really just drive like 3 hours for a Smash Fest? It was more than that.
Yeah.
But it would have been way better if Kentucky was here.
It always is.
Oh yeah, they're so great.
They're here to hang out just like everybody else.
I really want to go to more Kentucky tournaments, but they just don't hold that many.
Well, I'm super far from Kentucky.
Yeah, I know
so,
you're up in Fort Wayne.
Yeah,
So
so
it's hard to go. You got to meet them halfway.
Well, because I know that they're gonna come here, so like it's like a little biased, but I just wait for them to come here just because of the distance.
I always thought of like holding a tournament in Indianapolis where we would bill it as sort of a competition between the surrounding states to meet halfway. Michigan,
Yeah.
Illinois, Ohio, and Kentucky, and Indiana.
So I've always believed, like when I first started playing competitively, Fox player named AC, super old school.
Oh yeah, dude, I've heard about it.
He was telling me, like when I first started, he was like, all we ever need is a TO for Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne is central
you guys are
to
in
all of the
Crossroads.
Midwest.
You're a railroad system because you're like so central to everyone.
No,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like if like TOing is very difficult for me. I melt under the pressure and I can't
you
handle
got
it.
other stuff to do.
But say if I could handle TOing,
Mm-hmm.
I would, and all of the Midwest, all of it would be the maximum like 3.5, maybe 4 hours besides Evansville, could come to Fort Wayne. Like that would be an enormous tournament for everyone, and it wouldn't be that big of a drive.
It wouldn't be bad for Michigan had no Johns. Chicago would have no Johns, but they didn't either about FC. They had an expressway that took them from Chicago to South Bend.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it's the toll road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No Johns,
Was that the
dude.
new one? Is that what that was?
I don't know if it's a new one.
I don't know because I usually avoid.
I know it goes from
I'm
South Bend to
cheap.
Chicago, and I'm pretty sure it goes the other way.
Yeah.
And it's a toll road that is like not that long, and it's an expressway. They had a straight shot, and they're like, nah, we'll just go to our EXP monthly.
Well, that's what happens because they're so big. Michigan does it too.
Michigan does it too, and I don't know, dude. They need to travel to our stuff more often.
It's hard.
We need to get them here.
What brings them in is like
competition.
full bloom, like players coming in that they want to play.
Yeah.
That's what brings them here.
Dude, Full Bloom 2 is gonna have a lot of people. It's gonna be a big tournament.
I am pretty excited. Hopefully, when my child is born, I can get babysitter for that. I hope.
I hope you can too.
I'm pretty sure I
wanna
will
see
be
you.
able to. When the bigger tournaments are taking place and I really want to go to them, I can like get a babysitter. It's like the ones that are just like smaller that I'll have to like avoid and take care of.
Yeah. I have one question. AC, didn't he show up to Jab 3? He teamed with Raptor Boots.
Yeah, I don't remember who we teamed with, but
It was
we
Raptor
finally
Boots.
got him to come because Jab 1 I missed because I wasn't in the scene yet.
Yeah.
But I went to 2. Me and Fort Wayne went to Jab 2.
Really?
Aaron, or AC, had been there for the first 2. And I was like,
You gotta go to
have
3.
to keep the record. Like, and he's like, all right. So like he came and he did incredibly well. Actually, he did
Really?
so well in pools.
Did he make it out?
Yes, he did. He beat Village Mascot, who's very good.
Yeah, it was
And he took a game off of Trail. He's still super good. Fundamentally, he's super sound.
That's all the old
But he
school
just
players,
doesn't
though.
exactly.
All the old school players, they have the mind games, they have all of the the stuff to place. Tink, placing, what? Tying with Rick for 5th at Rubicon.
Dude, but like one thing that people like sleep on Tink about is that he always has been incredibly versatile. That man can play any of the top 8.
He plays all the top 8. He plays them all uniquely,
and he plays them super confident.
Well.
And he'll come in thinking I got this matchup anyways, and that's difficult to deal with. It's hard.
remember Smashville 3.0, Tink's rebirth into the scene, pretty much, as it was billed by Lance to me. It was just this guy I didn't know playing like a real old school dude, and he still like made it to 4th, something, playing like 3 different characters, 4 different characters maybe.
Yep.
Just destroyed some of the competition.
Well, back then, switching characters were how you got the best of other players that were near your level.
Matchups.
Yeah, until everyone else started playing other characters, and then it came down to skill.
Pretty much, yeah. It's weird. It's a weird It's a weird war.
Yeah.
Arms race.
But that's what makes it dynamic. That's what we like.
I really want kind of Kitsune to get back in.
Dude,
He started hosting people too to play.
yeah, I think that he really wants to. There's just like something stopping him. I'm not close to him, and I never have been. But
The way it's explained to me is that he stopped finding the competition fun. And I feel like if he had a scene with more people, that might solve it.
well, the current scene, or the last scene that he had, the person that was giving him the most competition was Little England.
Who's gone?
Right, and like, I think that when you only have one other guy who's as good as you, your drive to want to go to tournaments and play diminish, I suppose. For me, it doesn't. I want to go more places when I only have one person, but...
Yeah, keep the rivalry going. But I mean, now Little England has competition from Lance, from Rig, from Voorhees.
Well, Little England now is in Pittsburgh.
Why did I say Little England? Cunning Kitsune
Yeah.
has competition from all of our top players now.
He could. He
Certainly,
just doesn't play
if he
much.
entered. I mean, I don't know. Everyone keeps. Whenever I say who's the best in Indiana, all of the people who are around when Cunning Kitsune plays responds with him. And all I gotta say is, when he starts competing in singles, we'll say.
That's all I've ever said. Because I know that he's incredible, but when you aren't entering brackets,
And when
you don't
everyone-
always have the stamina. You
And
can
when
play
everyone
friendlies all
else is
night.
getting better. Like, this isn't the same scene it was 3-4 years ago.
Agreed.
So, Cunning Kitsune's, for all intents and purposes, he sucks in singles. He doesn't enter.
And that's kind of like where he's in that gray area, where like he's good, and he'll always be good until he enters bracket. And that's all you can do is respect what he was and what he is. You know?
Well, I mean, he just doesn't enter.
Yeah, I
he,
know.
he does great in doubles.
But he never did. Like even in the past, it would be rare when he would enter singles. He would like just play teams and like not enter singles.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's always been like that.
Huh.
And like AC would even tell me about that. He's like, yeah, just like kind of what he's always done. Sometimes he enters singles for sure, but
Because he's such a strong player.
that's how it always goes, right?
He could do
like the strongest players ever are always the ones that like don't play or something
Elusive.
happened major in their life, or they have a great job and they can't play or whatever.
It's just, I don't want to gild him into it, but it'd be so big for a scene to have a flagship guy like Cunning Kitsune. Someone who's, Indiana right now is our most known players known for being banned from Smashville like 7 times. And for not shutting up about Pichu. Guys, we got a crisis on our hands here. Cunning Kitsune is the man who wrote the Fox guy.
Yeah.
He's someone who holds a lot of weight. People find out he's coming back in the scene. It doesn't just boost him, and it doesn't just boost his little pocket in West Lafayette. It boosts us all.
What I've always felt about Cunning is that he was the Duck of Indiana. Duck, for me, he's incredibly talented, but he's like stuck in the Midwest where he doesn't see a whole lot of matchups.
Yeah.
But he still goes to major tournaments and does phenomenally.
Plays is so well.
And Cunning has always been that way. He's always like had minimal matchups, and then like excels all the time. Just always getting better.
Almost like someone who could be a hidden boss, but they perform so well you can't ignore them.
It's just nuts. But like that's what he's always been to me. He's always been like extreme phenomenal talent, but like just never plays.
Man, I mean, we got Tink.
Tink's in and out, man.
He is.
He'll come sometimes. Other times he got other things to do.
It's true, but when he shows up, he's always good. And
Yeah.
he's someone. Despite being he lives in Hammond, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Despite living in Hammond, he still considers himself Indiana.
Yeah, because he's always been Indiana.
He's always hung with us,
Yeah.
right? And so, Zero recently, the Smash 4 player,
Yeah.
recently moved to Hammond, as you probably know.
I didn't actually. I thought he was still in Fort
His
Wayne.
girlfriend
Oh,
there.
wait. Okay, Zero. I'm sorry. I was thinking
Not
Zero
Zero Zen.
Sorry.
No,
yeah.
no.
I didn't know that.
Shit.
I didn't know he did that.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Not long. I messaged him, said it was right before Kilroy, and I'm like, hey, do you want to come to our circuit event, Kilroy? It's gonna be big.
That's crazy.
Smash 4 is gonna be big. We'd love to see you here. And he's like, oh no, thanks.
What's he doing there?
He's with his girlfriend, I think. But he's pretty much attends Chicago tournaments.
Yeah.
At least he might have moved already, but when he was here, he was living in Hammond. He made no considerable effort to even recognize the state he was living in.
So weird, right?
Well, it's just like he's so close to. It's pretty much Chicagoland. But
Yeah.
at the same time, bro, look at your address. That doesn't say IL. It says IN. You're with us, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
I wish we had a relationship with Chicago like we do with Louisville.
Well, we used to.
Really?
Because Purdue was hosting circuits when I first started, and Chicago would like make their way towards that. But then like the circuits stopped because the students graduated and like they dwindled down, and then now there's no PR.
Is that Missoula one of them?
I don't remember.
I
know that Purdue was humongous when I first started.
They have a
and it
combo
was so
video,
big
too.
that I even thought like that was the scene. I thought like 'cause it was enormous to me at the time.
Same thing with me in Fort Wayne, but then I found out it's a lie.
Yeah, Fort Wayne, there's like just a couple of us.
But you guys made such a big presence when no one else played Melee. That's why. But with the whole like, I think we're starting to develop a much better relationship with Chicago now that they're starting to recognize the tournaments.
Yeah,
we get Fro, we get O'Reilly, we get Dart, who's not really Chicago, but he's Illinois.
As I was leaving Rubicon, O'Reilly was like, "Hey, Gracen, whenever you guys are gonna host a tournament, say something. Me and Bro want to travel." And I'm like, "That's awesome," because no other Chicago's like that. Kelly only comes out if it's like a name coming.
Oh my
Otherwise,
God,
we'd rather not.
Kelly is such a goofball, dude.
I like Kelly a lot, but he doesn't travel
The
anymore because
first
the scene's
set
big enough.
I ever commentated was a Kells set, but it was a friendly teams match in an EXP monthly. The first one I went to in a dark room. It was one of those back rooms with like the TV.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, watch me. I'll commentate it. I made them laugh. I'm just like, maybe I'm good at this. So I owe Kells my commentating career pretty much.
I've always liked Kelly for that. His camaraderie. He's like always laughing, having a good time.
He's like a cool guy.
I think that's why I haven't gone to Chicago in a while, because Kelly's the only one that like laughs and hangs out. A lot of the other players there, they don't seem as friendly to me, and maybe it's because I haven't spent much time getting to know them. Perhaps they just don't come off as friendly as Kelly.
Oh, really? Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to cut these interviews shorter.
Kathy, man.
I definitely spent a little too much time with that. Yeah. And so signing off is winner of Smashville, second place, Gracen.
Thank you.
All right.
Very much. Sorry.